figure out what took this man to drive him to that position.
An alleged murder-suicide in the small village of Polo last weekend leaves many unanswered questions and lots of anger in the community. And tonight, much of that anger was directed at the Polo School District. WIFR's Alyssa Kelly was the only local reporter to attend tonight's board meeting where family members of the suspect decided to speak out.
Mike, investigators identify the two men killed in Saturday's hostage and shooting case as 19-year-old Joshua Conway of Polo and 29-year-old Michael Goal of Wakanda. Authorities say both men were found dead inside a home on Mason Street in Polo, with Conway's wounds appearing to be self-inflicted.
If you were notified and you dropped the ball, somewhere along the line, you got to say it.
A minimal amount of information is fueling an increase in online rumors following a deadly hostage and shooting case in a small Ogle County town.
As the truth comes out, so does anger and the determination to find justice, not just for Josh, but for everyone who has been victimized by unacceptable behavior.
19-year-old Josh Conway and a Wakanda man were found dead Saturday from gunshot wounds in a Polo home. Investigators believe Conway's wounds were self-inflicted. Family members say they don't condone what Josh did, but many who spoke say unconfirmed inappropriate relations with the teacher is partly to blame.
So tell me, couldn't this been prevented? The goal from this statement is to bring awareness to the situation and provide a voice for Josh.
After families spoke, the board responded as much as they say they could.
I'm confident that you, as well as everyone within the community, understands and respects that the board does not discuss internal personal matters in an open forum.
The board adds they hold their teachers to high standards and appropriate professional interactions with students.
When information is brought to the district's attention, it is our goal to ensure appropriate investigation occurs.
WIFR reached out to the school superintendent too, and in a statement, Dr. Kelly Mandrell says the events of June 14th were profoundly tragic, but the incident itself is a non-school related matter. She adds counseling resources have been made available to teachers, staff, and students.
What's happened here is the destruction of two families.
But Polo community members say they are more than fed up.
Whether it was neglect, whether it was who knows what, irresponsibility, is the school district culpable in this? Who knows? That's going to be found out.
In a statement from Ogle County, Sheriff Brian Van Vickle says the case is currently ongoing with no additional information available for release at this time.
Thank you, Alyssa. And roughly 10 people spoke on the situation that unfolded Saturday night and its potential relationship with the school district. The meeting moved from the boardroom to the elementary school gym to accommodate the unusually large crowd.